Good day, viewers. Welcome to another program of Unlock Your Potential. I am Christina Swanawaga, Corporate Communications Officer at the T.A. Marisho Community College. Today's programming comes to you in collaboration with GIS. In today's program, we are going to focus on the Grenada Brain Bee competition. TAMCC first ever participation in this competition in 2021, and we have had two of our students taking part in the competition, and one placing third and the other placing fifth. So today we have them on the program to give you a little bit about the experience, how they felt about the program, the preparation, and how they were able to juggle school life and the preparation for the Brain Bee at the same time. I know it was not easy, but we just want to share that experience with you so that you will also have a feeling of what they would have gone through and have a bit of appreciation for the Grenada Brain Bee competition. So with me, first guest is Miss Nkeshe Andall. Welcome, Nkeshe, to our program.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for inviting me on this program.
It's my pleasure to have you, and I'm hoping that your presence on our program today will be felt because you would share with us a little bit about your program. But to start, I want you to tell us your name, what school you attended before TAMCC, your program with T.A. Marisho Community College, whether you are a year 1 or a year 2 student.
First of all, my name is Nkeshe Andall. I attended Westerhall Secondary School. I am a first-year student at TAMCC, and my program is natural science. My majors are pure maths, biology, and chemistry.
Okay, great. Now, being a first-year student, you would have had to have some form of transition from secondary school life to college life. How is that going thus far?
Well, I can now say that the transition has been completed. I am now acclimated to the climate of TAMCC. I feel more at home, but at first when it just happened, it was like pretty fine. A shocker for me because secondary school life is adversely different from TAMCC school life. So I just needed a few months to get adjusted, but I'm pretty fine now.
Okay, great. So we're talking academics. What about other social activities? Have you been able to get yourself into any other activities apart from your academics thus far?
Well, not as yet, but I plan on in the future to get myself into social activities because I find that I should, be more socially active.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that will make you more of a holistic person. So it wouldn't just be about academics. And as well as if you're looking towards getting the awards at the end, like for your graduation. And so, in order for it to be valedictorian, etc., these are some of the criteria that they would be looking at, your other activities in addition to your academics. So I'm also looking forward to invite you on this program in the future again for other reasons. And so I want you to excel and to do well and to settle. And I'm sure that there will be other competitions coming up, help you to prepare better. Exactly. Tell me what really was different about the two competitions.
Okay, so my competition prior to this one, I was left behind because I was given the wrong book to study from. So that was a great, buffer in the competition. And also I was sitting 12 CXC subjects, so I was like more studying on my CXCs than on Brain Bee.
Right.
So I actually prioritized my CXC subjects before Brain Bee competition. But this year I went back for a second year and I did 4 subjects.
Right.
So I had more time on my hands to study for Brain B. So I decided, why not pick it up again?
Okay. So considering that TAMCC never took part before, how did you get that hint that you can now take part in the Brain B still, even if you are now a TAMCC student and not a secondary school student?
Well, I was adamant to take part in the competition because, I love neurology.
Right.
So I would not have took no as an answer, honestly. But there was no, criteria which prevented us from taking part.
Right.
They said, from age 13 to age 18.
Right.
And I fell under that criteria.
Right.
So they had no reason to shut me out of the competition.
Right. And you mentioned that you love neurology. Is that the field that you want to get into in the future?
Yes. In the future, I would love to be. I will be a neurologist.
Great. I like your optimism and your confidence. Now, usually you have to have a plan as to how you're going to get there. Do you have that plan set out already as to maybe your academic career and where are you going to take it after TAMCC, etc.?
Well, after TAMCC, I would like to go to SU. For some reason, that's the predominant, university in my mind.
Right.
Probably because I feel more at home in Grenada than flying abroad where I'm not used to stuff and things like that.
Right.
So from college, I'm seeking a scholarship to go in SU
Right.
to further my studies in neurology.
Okay, great. So you have a plan and you have to work hard.
Yeah.
Because as you know, the medical field is not such a piece of cake.
No, it's not.
Right, but I know that you have the ability and you can do it. Tell us about the actual competition, Brain B competition now. How many rounds and in terms of how many competitions? Was it 2, 3? Was it a zonal and a final? Was it a, tell us about that and how it was for you in terms of your experience.
Okay, so first of all, for Brain B, there is a process of elimination.
Right.
First, there is a screening exam, which, the school sends the participants, they would like to join Brain B to do an exam. Once you pass the exam, you then move to the zonal competition. The zonal competition then eliminates everybody eliminates to the first 5, and once you're in the first 5, then you're in the final competition.
Okay.
For the zonal competition, I came second, and that experience was a bit good.
Right.
Preparing for the zonal, and I had teachers like Miss Howard and others on my side, helping me, asking me if I've studied, and keeping my health at check, because you can't just go studying without checking up on your health.
Yes. Okay, great. So you came second in the zonal and then you got into the finals, and I guess was the preparation for the finals the same as the preparation for the zonal?
No, it was not. The
Okay.
preparation for the finals was tough because for some reason we had exams that around that same time, so I was not free to study Brain B as how I really wanted, because I had to study chemistry, maths, and biology, all of this stuff, and it was hard. There was many sleepless nights. Well, I prayed, and I prayed a lot, and with the Almighty strength, I was able to pull it through.
Okay, great. So I really appreciate your time on our program. I think your information about your experience, be it in the past or present, was very valuable towards Brain B, and I like the fact that you was determined regardless of whether they were going to say yes or no. You were like, they have to say yes, because you really wanted to be part of it. And I think that's something that other students should imitate, that when they want something, they should go after it regardless of whatever barriers they may face in their pursuit towards what they want to achieve. And so I want to thank you for being part of our program. Is there anything that you would like to say to our viewers as it relates to Grenada Brain Bee competition? Because it's an annual competition. It's going to happen every year. New students are going to take part. What are you going to say to them? Are you going to say, keep, going at it, try it? Would you say that to TAMCC students as well? What is your advice?
Well, my advice is to,
Right.
you can also pray to, get through the tough times. You might seem like, most children might say it's a futile attempt, like I don't even need neurology, or I'm not in that field. But it's not being in that field, it's the experience and the learning process. I mean, like, learning about the brain should be for everybody.
Right.
Just a general knowledge. You don't have to go to the nitty-gritty about how the brain works, but at least you should know the basics.
Great. Thank you, Nkeshe Andall, for being on our program. And at this time, we're just going to cut for a little intermission where you are going to see Nkeshe in action. And then we're going to have Mr. Joshua Andall next on the program.
They're waiting to start the second session. And all I'm doing is just reporting to you my findings, which is, I can't tell you what the result is yet, but this is the start time we're waiting on here. 0, waiting on that. And then we have, this is it here, Grenada National Brain Bee. And for those of you folks, but this is the facility of the St. George's Baptist Church. This is our computer lab that we have at our church facility.
Okay, so the process that we have, the exams are already built. It's just to load the exams that have already been built into their quizzes so that it can be released to the class. And there it is. So refresh your pages. You should see the exam part 2. And you may begin. They may begin. Part 2. And the timer is on.
Refresh the page and then
Part 2.
and then ready again. Yeah.
So there you had it. They begin the second exam, and we would report. You heard it's very close. It's very close. So we would report to you as time progresses what's happening. Who is the winner? We don't know, Doctor. The quiz master said it's close, very close.
My name is Nkeshe Andall, and my past school was Westall Secondary School, but I'm currently at TAMCC. Well, as Joshua stated that, when you're in TAMCC, you hardly have the time to allocate in studying for brain bees, so it was actually a little bit difficult for me. But yeah, I had to balance some of the stuff. In the exam, what I just took, the only difficult part I find for me was the clinical trials.
Why so?
Because there is not a part in the book what has a special part for clinical trials, but you have to use the information in the book to actually understand what is going on. So that had a lot of critical thinking taking place, but for overall the exam was pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. So what you think about the virtual, doing it that way than the other way that you normally do it?
it's better.
You think this is better?
Yeah, I find it's better.
Ah, okay. All right. Here you are.
TM Marisha Community College, your only Indigenous college. We provide quality education and training opportunities at affordable prices. Our TAMCC alumni occupy 75% of the Grenadian workforce with international connections. We take you from where you are to where you want to go. For more information, contact TAMCC at 440-1389 or visit our website at www.tamcc.edu.gd. TAMCC, unlock your potential.
Welcome back to Unlock Your Potential, and with us we have Mr. Joshua Andall. Welcome, Joshua, to our program.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for inviting me on the program.
It is our pleasure. You deserve it. As we would have mentioned before, it's TAMCC first ever participation in the Grenada Brain Bee, and you have taken us to third place. And so we're very proud of you, and you've also made us proud. And so we just want to, enjoy our achievement and also share our achievement with our viewers. And so we want you to let our viewers know who you are, your program, whether you are a first-year student or a second-year student, and something about you.
Okay, well, as Ms. Christina stated, my name is Joshua Andall. I'm 17 years of age. I'm a first-year student in the T.A. Marshall Community College. I am doing business studies. My majors are pure mathematics, economics, business management, and also through TAMCC, I'm doing applied mathematics for CAPE.
Okay.
One thing about me is I would say that I'm very diverse. Basically, I love to try new things and just try to be the best person that I could be, develop myself holistically.
Right. Have you ever participated in the Grenada Brain Bee before through your secondary school experience?
This was my first time participating in the challenge.
Right. Have you ever heard about it before?
I have heard about it before. My brother, Kunta Andall, he took part.
Okay, so you had background insights.
I did.
Right, and did he help prepare you though for the competition?
Before the COVID pandemic,
Right.
he was basically the teacher helping us, along with Mr. Frederick. Those two teachers, they were coordinating with one another, and they were very dedicated in helping us to try and win the competition. But the
Right.
whole COVID pandemic, it kind of, yeah.
All right, because the competition did not take place in 2020.
They called it the 2020-2021 competition.
Okay, great. So that means that you were preparing for the competition for more than a year.
Yes, that is true. My brother gave me some good advice. He said that we were home through the whole pandemic,
Right.
and I wasn't doing anything. I was already prepared for my CXC subjects. So I was like, why not just prepare for the Brain Bee Challenge in advance? Because I
Right.
knew that I would be taking on a lot in TAMCC. So that's what I did. I studied the whole book, and I was ready for the competition before the competition.
Okay, great. Well then, tell us why you couldn't win.
Well, I wouldn't say it's that I couldn't win. I would say that I had a very strong chance of winning. I would just say that it's based on someone's priorities.
Right.
Yeah. So I basically had to sacrifice one thing for the other, because in TAMCC I'm involved in a lot of social activities like chess club, hiking, debating, and I'm also taking part in the SEC.
Right.
So I had to juggle a lot of stuff as well, and I had to look to the future because hopefully I'll be doing 5 majors. So
Right. But also look at it as a positive. That's your first accomplishment towards the criteria for valedictorian, because you've now placed third in the Grenada Brain Bee. That's also one of the things that would be looked at as representation for TAMCC. So I think you are on the right track. I am looking forward to see you in the debating competition, because it's usually another tough one, and especially preparation for it, etc. But it's something that we enjoy looking at TAMCC participating with the other schools, because we always come with a contending team. They always have to be afraid of us. So I'm looking forward to that. As it relates to the process, since that it was your first time in the Grenada Brain Bee, What do you think about the process? Was it a tedious one? Was it very simple to follow? Were you properly guided? How do you feel about the competition process itself?
Okay, that's a very good question. A lot of people have asked me this question before, and I always give them the same answer. I think so long as you have a system to work with, a timetable, nothing should be very difficult, and so long as you have the correct work ethic and you're driven, determined, I don't think anything should be a problem. So for me, honestly speaking, the competition, preparing for it, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would have been. And like I stated earlier, I was already ready for the competition before the competition. So I used apps like Quizlet, I used apps like flashcards, etc. to prepare me for the competition. So it wasn't the process before. During the pandemic, it was hard because I needed to be sure that I understood everything solid before I could move on to anything else, so that it could stay until next year.
Okay, great. So you did not memorize or cram, but you learned.
That's what I did. I learned. I also have family in medicine, so they were very integral in this process.
Great, great. So I'm sure that they were proud as well to see you perform. Right. So now we talk about the process. What about the questioning? Do you think that the complexity of it was at what I must say? Was it advanced? Was it, at the level you think it should have been for a TAMCC student? Because I'm sure that there were persons saying to themselves, TAMCC taking part against the secondary school student, they should have the advantage. Tell us, what do you think?
Well, for me, a lot of students were saying the exact same thing, but then I didn't really fit that criteria because, like I stated earlier, I'm doing business.
Right.
So it's nothing related to medicine. So the questions, but into the questions, definitely the questions are really challenging. I would say that the medical school level, as the Dr. Tanya Edwards stated, they're literally at medical school level. So
Right.
the students who take part in this competition, you really need to give them credit, because to prepare for that type of competition, we also got clinical trials as well.
Right.
Those are something that the US MLE, I think it is, that's what they get to practice.
Right.
So it was the questions were really challenging.
Did you by any chance, through the process, thought that maybe you should switch your interest in the future?
Well, like I stated, I'm a very diverse person. So I still think that I would get into medicine eventually. But all for now, I'm doing business. But eventually, I would like to get into medicine. I would like to be a neurosurgeon.
Right. I have had that experience in the past where that competition seems to tweak how the participants think about neurology and their interests in the future, and they try to associate it with maybe what they want to be, because it seemed like it's something fun.
It does. It is something fun. It's really, when you start to learn about the brain and you understand how your body works, it really gives you an advantage in a lot of areas. For example, there are some things that I was kind of addicted to, for example, football, gaming, etc. And because I understood how the brain works, I was able to know the triggers, know what caused me to be addicted, and decrease my addiction.
Great. So it helped you to now control how you your brain function as it relates to other activities or outside influences of your body. So you now understand the relationship and you are able now to control it. So that's good. So the competition did a lot for you. So out of that competition, what will you say to someone who has no idea of science, never been in the competition, not interested in becoming a neurologist, but however has the ability to partake in the competition? What would you say to that person?
To that person, I would definitely encourage you to try the Grenada Brain Bee, because overall it really impacts you, not in a negative way but in a positive way. It also helps you with discipline.
Right.
Because before coming into TAMCC, the discipline that I had, it wasn't really there. But because of the Grenada Brain Bee Challenge, and I had to prepare before so that I could be ready by the time it came around, I really developed the discipline. So I have the Grenada Brain Bee to thank for that. So overall, I would say anyone who has the ability to do it, I would encourage you to do it.
Great. So tell us a little bit about your future aspirations. What do you want to be?
Well, in the future, I would like to be a private equitist, but that's not only, like keep stated, I'm very diverse, so I would like to change career paths. But as for now, I would like to be a private equitist slash entrepreneur, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So something I like a lot is trading, forex, real estate. So I would like to get into that as well.
Nice. So have you started simulations online, because they're free simulations in terms of trading? Have you started that?
Yes, I have. Normally, what I practice with is a MetaTrader,
Right.
and there's another one called IQ Option.
Right.
I normally read a lot, for example, briefings, and I try to predict the stocks before they come. And most times I get them.
Okay, so maybe you can also try Trade, because Trade, they do a lot of research and they provide a lot of reports on how the stocks, when they're going to rise, when they're going to fall, and all of these things. So with that information, you are able to make an informed decision as to whether you should sell or buy your stock, etc. So it's another area that I'm interested into. So it's funny, but I just like, the whole idea that as a young person, you are aware that these things exist, because it's not a cultural thing within our culture for our young people to know about trading and stocks, etc. And again, entrepreneurship, you see, it goes hand in hand. And so you have to go against the tide, because people always think that the intelligent students are more inclined to science. And they need to be, they have to become a doctor or a lawyer, etc. So it's really good that you are actually venturing outside of the norm. So I want to encourage you to keep working hard, keep doing what you're doing. I am looking forward to see you in other areas. And yes, the debating is coming up. And I hope that you would also excel in your pursuit, which is your business studies, because 2 years is no time. This year is going to be over, and then you're going to have another academic year to go, and then that's it.
I was really shocked, to be honest, because I did not know that the first year was going to go by so fast. Like, I just blinked, and we're at the end of the first year already.
Yes, it's really quick, and you have to start thinking about what you're going to do even after that, even now. Right, so that you can make the proper preparations, etc. So thank you again for being on our program, Joshua.
No
and
problem.
Thank you
It's my
for
pleasure.
representing TAMCC. We are very proud, like I said before, and we look forward to see more of you. Thank you, viewers, for viewing our program. I am Christina Swanawaga. We are going to take you into Joshua's performance in the Grenada B&B just before we close off with the program. So thank you again for viewing, and goodbye. Next program.
Tell us what your name.
Joshua Andall.
From which school?
Well, my alma mater is the Presentation Brothers College, but I'm in TAMCC now.
TAMCC now. All right. What was it like, the first exam?
The first part was good. If you studied, it would have been like easy for you. But there are some parts which were challenging and required like on the spot thinking, because there's some stuff that it wasn't necessarily directly in the book, but you need to use the information from the book to deduce the information and get your correct answer. But it was good.
It was good. What was it like studying for you during the pandemic?
It was challenging, to be honest, because like I said, I'm not in secondary school, so
Right.
I don't have as much free time. So I had to balance a lot of stuff, and along with my extracurriculars in TAMCC. So it was challenging, but I managed to pull it.
Managed for sure. All right, great.